Be strong.
Hello gamers, it's Treesap Jake here. I've been gone a little while and I've come back with some thoughts. I recently got my 2.1k duelist rating in Arena, only for it to tank in some pretty bad games when it suddenly struck me. Why do I still play? Why am I putting myself through arguably one of the most RNG ridiculous patches of WoW that I've ever experienced? And the truth is actually rather a simple one. There's just nothing quite like WoW endgame content. I started WoW as a 12-year-old in vanilla, and it's the one game I've never truly let go. I spent years of my life trying to find something that can replace it, and I've gone everywhere. I've played Paradox games, countless MMOs like Star Wars The Old Republic, EVE Online, Elder Scrolls Online, etc., the WoW killers, to find some sort of solution when things get bad. But much like switching from Coca-Cola to Pepsi, it's never quite the same taste. So, I've been thinking long and hard, and I wanted to make this video for those who want to play for the first time, but also for those thinking about returning, and whether World of Warcraft is still actually worth it. Endgame PvP Arena. I split this one into 3 points, with a summary, to make it more easy to digest. Point 1. Speed. I've looked around for some sources for the exact statistics on players who do PvP versus those who do PvE, and whilst there was once a tweet from Halinka about it, it's now deleted. However, quoting from it, a Reddit user estimated it was about an equal split. This was from 2018. I actually wonder what it's like now. Arena is unique. What makes it so unique in an era that is predominantly controlled by the MOBA or Battle Royale genre is the speed of the matches. Matches lasting 15 minutes or more are considered exceptionally long and way too boring for spectators to even want to watch, according to Twitch chat. On the flip side, a 15-minute game in a pro League of Legends match would be insanely swift, where the viewers are usually happy to just watch laners kill creeps and harass their opponents for 20 minutes. But before I get sidetracked by esports, what does this mean for the individual regular Arena player? Well, firstly it means you can get multiple matches in an hour. For a teen on summer holiday, this doesn't matter much. But for the regular dudes who've played this game since they were kids and now have to slot it in with families, work and other various real life distractions,
That's me.
you can do a lot in an hour. Games can be as fast as 5 to 10 seconds if you completely global someone, and trust me, the thrill of pulling it off at whatever rating you're at is insane. This makes it easier and quicker to climb rating, but also better for your psyche when you lose. Instead of putting 30 to 40 minutes of your life into one game, only to tilt and throw hard near the end due to fatigue or bad teamwork / misplays, you can lose a couple of times in Arena and make up your rating again twice over in that same time period. That accessibility is insane, and for someone whose daily life shifts often, it's perfect for me and others like me. Point 2. Human adaptability. Arena is also very unpredictable. In PvE, you more or less need to learn mechanics, and while sometimes a strange move can create an alternate route, the bosses and coding tends to behave in the way they're expected to. Mess up a mechanic, wipe and try again. In Arena, this is entirely different. You're facing players, but not just players with 4 buttons, unless you're a Demon Hunter Cat W, but enemies whose style and gameplay will change depending on who they face. In current patches, which essence to choose, which talent or PvP talent would best help you against this opponent. There's a customization that allows for experimentation. Yet, what might work for one individual player may be totally and entirely useless for another one. They might be the exact same class, exact same stats, same gear even, but their playstyle is entirely different, and you lose. Then, you're pissed off, angered, confused, but that stokes a fire in you that, with a red-hot, burning rage, you want to beat the Azerite out of their stupid heart trinket. That competitiveness, especially when you start facing the same players, is addicting, and it'll never leave you. The feeling you get when you grind up to 2k rating for the first time, and keep fighting a mage lock team at 1990 rating, the gatekeepers, only to destroy them on your 5th try, Feels like you've won the Premier League as Wigan. Even if that comp is broken, you feel something euphoric, and that's a special feeling. I've never felt that elsewhere. Point 3, synergy. Many of you have probably tried your hand at the looking for group option to find yourself a 2s partner to cap for that week, looking to snag yourself that tasty 1k rating for the Conflict and Strife PvP essence, which your raid leader said is probably good for your class. Or perhaps you wanted to try out PvP and give Arena a blast after someone suggested you do it after a battleground. You'll know that it is a hellhole of a lot of toxic people who A, don't really know how to do PvP, and B, think they're gods because they grinded out mythic gear. You probably had an easier time convincing a romantic partner that you truly do love them than a random in looking for group that you actually know how to play your class. But jokes aside, in amongst that messy cesspit, you'll find 1 or 2 players who are genuinely keen to keep trying, and then eventually you'll jump in the voice chat, and you realise, wow, they're just like me. You get to know them, and suddenly you're fast friends. Not only do you banter about all the awful people who've flamed you for losses or insta-left the party when they noticed your health over all the time period that you've trying to find arena partners, but you form a synergy. And there's no other way to describe it. You become so close with this person who's shouting orders, spells, cooldowns, gameplay tactics down the mic that you become symbiotic. That symbiosis allows you to know and understand what they're going to do even before they've actually pressed the buttons themselves.
Nice.
I can't think of any game where I've felt the same connection with another person, and it's why the friendships are so deep. When they quit the game, move on, or sadly otherwise, you feel like a bit of your soul has left you. So, in conclusion with Arena, World of Warcraft has many negatives, as everything does, but Arena is one of its greatest positives. Even in patches where it is god-awful to PvP, you can't stop. You can quit the game, play something else, but the nostalgia hits you way too deep and you find your way back. I'm very positive that even some of the biggest old WoW streamers who've stopped playing will play it on their downtime, off stream, just to keep doing what they know in their hearts they love. At the very least, I kind of hope they do. Mythic Plus.
Now, your nightmare is just beginning.
Now, I don't want to go massively in depth into Mythic Plus, but I do want to come at it from a PvPer's perspective on a PvE endgame content. I do not enjoy PvE at all, but I love Mythic Plus. Over the years, I've realised that I hate leveling. I hate questing, and it honestly took me 3 expansions and many years to get an end level anything, and even then it was a death knight, so I skipped 55 levels. However, despite 8.3 being my least favourite patch in general, it's the only patch where I've actually enjoyed the PvE aspects. Now, setting aside the Nihilo for raid, I wanted to talk about the repeatable content that is essentially the arena of PvE for WoW, Mythic Plus. My take on Mythic Plus is a slightly weird one because I think the most enjoyable part of Mythic Plus is human error. Now, hear me out. You might be thinking, Jake, that's insane. It's generally the worst ever when you have such a bad tank, healer, DPS, everything. And I agree. But also, they're the only Mythic Plus dungeon runs I remember because both my friends and I suffered together. But also, it makes PvE content slightly different. During a dungeon run where the tank somehow managed to reset Razan in Tal Dazar, and my cooldowns are now all totally busted, I gotta figure out a different way to put out as much DPS as possible, and plan appropriately for the encounter, so we don't spend forever on this boss. Or, another example, one of our DPS has accidentally pulled an insane amount of trash by misjudging the pull zone when walking by. I now have to pop my cooldowns way earlier and not have them up in time for the next boss, just so we don't wipe on this trash and lose valuable seconds. I now have to adapt my playstyle for that next boss, something I would never normally have to do. This change of pace is so refreshing, and whilst frustrating at the time, always makes me feel like I've achieved way more when I come out the other end and time the key. Or, if we don't time the key, I've learned that I should do something better for next time if one of my reluctant teammates or myself does a boo-boo. To summarise, there's a human element to Mythic Plus. There isn't the endless grind of one particular mechanic on a raid boss, but rather you adapting to human error. I haven't looked into Shadowlands entirely because I'm pretty weird and I like to experience it all live and fresh for the first time on release day, but I am looking forward to playing both Arena and Mythic Plus in the new expansion because I think this content is the best out of any game I've ever played. If any of this made any sense beyond just me rambling, or you've had similar experiences, or if you just flat out disagree with me, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, kidney shot the thumbs up button if you've enjoyed the video, and hopefully I'll see you next time.